Hey, tēnā rā koutou katoa, nau mai, and welcome to this one. This is what we call the Ferrari match. This is the under-18 boys, Te Tai Tokerau, taking on Waikato. Here we are live from Bruce Pullman Park, Papakura, Tamaki Makaurau, and joining me, we've got Peter McIntyre back and also Maya Williams. Pete, this is the one we've been waiting for all day.
Yeah, being a big fan of boys and men's touch, it's going to be very, very interesting, the coaching matchups in this one. We've got Shane Edwards and Peter Walters on the Waikato side, and then we've got Wade Brunston on the Tai Tokerau side. Very accomplished in their own rights, so it's going to be very interesting, the technical and tactical battles that they're going to have throughout this one. I draw back to the mixed one that I was doing. I think the team that's the best through the field will come out with a result.
Yeah, and I see just as we got Waikato under the tent before they run out, I see they've got their t-shirts on, so they've obviously got a process that they're going to run when they come out, and then t-shirts come off for there. And then on the other side we've got our man with his shades on, so it looks like everyone's just chilling under the tent and keeping it really, really relaxed. But here we have the adjudicators for this one, Maya.
Yeah, this is a really cool to see John Dusto lead the crew out here. John Dusto, obviously from Pairo, where all the good refs are from. He's got him, there's Tony Arnell joining him, and also Ray Kent's a very experienced ref. The first time John Dusto's ever been the lead referee in the country. Well deserved. He's been on the improve over the last 3 years since he returned, and I just hope the boys have a fantastic game.
Awesome, and well, yeah, there you go. Now, Pete, you know, a lot of these players, they've come through the pathway systems, and you've taken them to Australia, and some of them have been lucky enough to play Australia. What would you like to see from these young fellas?
Well, just with the rule change of 7 metres, it's going to be very, very interesting at what they bring. Whether they're going to come hard and fast from 10 to 10 and what that means at the back end. I know at the moment there's trends of playing passive plays, and we've got some quick feet in Tai Tokerau, and we've actually got some very good accomplished ball players in the Waikato side, so it's going to be interesting, the matchups today.
And yourself, Maya, so how are they going to keep the space between these two teams, you know, with the speed of this game?
It's just working as a team of three. The two referees on the sideline take the winger and link and really try and help communicate through to the middle referee, letting them know when they are onside or who might need to be back 1 or 2 steps. But basically it's setting the tone early, making sure it's a nice big 7/9, so the teams understand that nice and early, manage it in terms of play-throughs and penalties, and then it'll manage itself for the rest of the game.
Yeah, now, you know, these ones, 2 minutes, it's the last game of the tournament. Is it more about less is more in the, I guess, information you give your team, Pete?
Well, I think through the tournament they would have worked their way up to this. So obviously I'd be looking at basic fundamentals first and foremost.
Awesome.
And that would be my cry to my team. It'd be, you know, ensuring we get our basic platform set up, our exit transition, and obviously strike.
Nice, and here we have the team sheets. We've got Orlando there, number 1, 2, Prime, Roberts, Kemara, Taha Kemara, look out for Taha, beautiful young player, Williams, Wilson, Smith, and also Puna, number 7, coming through. We've got Floodgate, Right Shoe, Tiffany, Tamoko, Tangaro, Elliot, Anderson, Floodgate, Edwards, coaches Walters and Shane Edwards, Puna in there, and Aroha Nuku, and heading over to Te Tai Tokerau.
Rangi Huna at 1, Clark, Kingi, Anderson, Bishop, Stewart at 6, Brown, Kolosi, Kake, Doyle, Tiffany, Doyle again, Kay, McGregor, Nathan, a somewhat experienced coach and doing a million games, Wade Brunson, and helping him out there is Jeremy Clark.
Yes, nice, and that rounds off the Te Tai Tokerau team. But Chicago Doyle, if you don't know and you only wake up today, keep an eye on that young fella, and also his cousin Buddha Doyle. They'll be hot on attack, and Boston Kake comes from not a too bad whānau from out south here. But here we go, we've got the Waikato under-18s about to tap off in the black and yellow coming through the field, and I think Taha might be just, oh no, he's in the sub-box. Is he out there? We've got a little play here, number 12 from Waikato. They're going to run a little sweep around the back in here, and then come through the hands over the open side. Yeah, just a little bit of a timing issue there, Pete.
Yeah, they had some backdoors going. I think as a set-piece starter, it looked quite technical, so I'd be looking to start very, very basic, feeling out the opposition in terms of what defence they're going to be throwing at you, and then go from there. So we'll see what Tai Tokerau brings. They've got some big ball players in this team.
Yeah, unlucky. They finished down the right end, but just couldn't get the ball there. And look how quick this transition is from Waikato. They'll go one nice and direct up the field. We've got some fresh subs coming through. These players are just going to find the hip a little bit better. They get caught a little bit high at times, Pete.
Yeah, I agree with that last drop. We saw an attack there. He was very narrow at the ruck, and got put off balance. Poor ruck. Poor ruck means poor finish.
Here we go. We got Taha there on the ball. Keep an eye on number 7. He'll be around the ball, and then also, number 4, and in the middle, number 7 there for Waikato, Puna, 2 class acts on the ball. He's going to get the ball back, use his little feet. Just trying to tease this defence, aren't they, in the sequence, Pete?
Yeah, Puna, very good right to left. His pet play, 32 pick, right to left, very, very accomplished.
Now those refs didn't miss that one, did they, Maya? Forward pass off the ruck?
No, they've been very good in setting the standard. Obviously, we had a penalty for in the ruck earlier, and then that penalty for forward pass. Hope it's something that keeps up. You tend to find it can creep into the game a lot, particularly down on quickie plays on the 7-metre line now, so hopefully they can stamp that out early.
Yeah, coming through just to finish the set, just trying to use his feet, coming short side, working off the ball. There goes Kake over the top, through the hands. Kolosi's got the ball. He's a great winger. Kolosi's been around a long, long time, and they managed to get a repeat set on the back end of that one, Pete.
Yeah, interesting with their setup on that last drive, 32 ruck, but he took inside shoulder, didn't give him a very good platform, but they still got a back to one out of it, so they moved the ball. If there's one thing we know, there's a lot of movement in Tai Tokerau.
Yeah, goes Border, going to get the ball back, or no, just running a rip play here. Coming through, and easy does it. That's the old rip play there, Pete. Yeah. They pull that middle right over to one side.
That's right. And a 32 long. In that play there defensively, Link and Wing have got to lift to take away that space, and what they did is they retreated, which means the middle comes laterally, a step back, and it's quite an easy down at the end of the day. Defensively, they need to sort that out.
Jade Stewart opens the account for Te Tai Tokerau, a 1-0, and it's humming here, Maya.
Yeah, I was going to ask you earlier, these two teams played each other on day one, and Te Tai Tokerau got up in that game. So coming into this game, is it almost better to be coming in as the team that lost? You got more to fight for, you're hungry, you want to get them back, or is it been better to be Te Tai Tokerau? You're the dominant team, you beat them, you're confident?
Yeah, I think when you beat teams, you are confident, but I think you're a bit wary. And I think they're probably, if they're just worried about the process, it's about starting well. And Te Tai Tokerau, they stopped Waikato on the tap-off, so they're going to get that back. And if it goes to a drop-off, they're going to start with the ball. So, momentum's a good thing. And I think they've started really, really well. Here comes Buddha and his cousin Chicago, and these dudes, man, you got to keep an eye on these fellas when they're on the ball, come through. Yeah, and it's just going to be probably execution now, Pete.
Yeah, and execution is everything. I thought the depth of the link run was a little bit high, and he didn't hook the winger in to define the outside. So Chicago, not a bad ball. I just think they need to tidy up the lines in terms of the finishing. It's something that, within our game, that the support around the ball is very, very important, and not something that, your average spectator would see, but it's something that needs to be a big part of this game.
Yes, so Pete's talking about the attack lines, so being slightly closer and deeper. So when the player gets the ball, it's a 2-on-1 on that wing, and he has time to make that play. But here we go, Waikato, they're getting the ball back. This boy's got beautiful feet, nice little low game. Yes, good work. It looked ball down from up here. We're probably 40 metres away, but this is this thing when you've got to know who's who in the zoo, as they say, Pete. Player like him, when he gets the ball, you've got to lock under nice and tight.
He gets him on the 8, and he's got a very, very good early dive, so he's not diving over the line, he's diving at it, and a pretty good change up of point of attack. So rather than coming down the middle consistently, they go and get a link, and that changes the shape of the defence. So good change up.
Yeah, number 7 on the ball, so keep an eye on him. Brown, Reese, PTL played a lot of touch. These boys are household names. Here goes Chicago. They're just running him at left flank now. We're in number 10. Great players. These boys aren't just good attackers. They play, end-to-end touch, 10 to 10. Here we go. Boston's going to get it. It's got great body movement. Yeah, managed to pick up a... so he balked that one, didn't he, Pete?
Yeah, interesting defensive shape they're running there. So they're quite narrow. So anything from and they're quite tight to the ball. Anything from a 32, if their links and the wing doesn't lift, they're going to get found out. So very interesting.
Yeah, and there he goes. He's just got beautiful body movement, Boston. You know, he's really good. I mean, his dad was a master at those sort of plays, but like Pete said, they've managed to find some space on the outside shoulder. He comes around on a sweep play here, and he's cornering hard 12, and yeah, just found it easy, didn't he, Pete?
Yeah, very interesting. They're actually giving them the 7, and if there's something that you don't want to do, is give this Tai Tokerau the 7. You'll have a far better rate if you D them out at the 10 rather than letting them have a 7 on that sweep, because they're very good at getting it down.
Now, Maya, you liking the look of the space between the refs that they're giving both these teams?
Yeah, 5 minutes into the game, 3 touchdowns and opportunities for more if the ball went to hand, so that's a credit to the refs. There's been a few penalties, but again, that's around setting the standard. The boys in particular, they need to know where the line is, otherwise it can go haywire. So great start by the teams, great start by the refs.
Oh, and that's that platform you talked about, Pete. 7, he likes a 32 platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, he set it up well too, just sold it, come short side, but great D by Te Tai Tokerau.
Yeah, he's actually got a bit of speed as well. As much as he throws right to left, he's actually very athletic. Interesting, he chose that short side. I would have gone open myself. He sort of got a good gate to go through there, but that's under fatigue. Players do strange things.
He goes, he's good on the ball, 7. Watched them through PTL, for the come through with the strikers, and there's Colosse touches down. Yeah, these are household family touch names that were rattling off here, but he just took his time. Young Reese Brown come through, and it's a beautiful platform from Buddha. He got the ball no downtime, right to left, over the top. And Pete talked about before that the outside defenders of Waikato, because the gates are so tight one side, they're pulled all the way in, and now they're just really starting to find easy options.
Oh, very interesting. They're still giving up the 7, and what happens if that's the case with the ruling? They're going to push the link and wing forward, so they're going to be retreating at the touch, and that is just way too hard to defend. So what they've got to do is either get a link onto that to make it man on, or push out to the 10 to defend.
Yeah, and here's Taha on the ball. Just slowly, looking at his options here. They come through, looks like 5th and final. Moving them through, go through the hands. Yeah, that's, Te Tai Tokerau, hats off with their defensive shape that they're showing here. They've held well, holding their space well, Pete.
Yeah, interesting early days, we're still early days in this, and I think they've got to consistently ensure they get to a ruck and get to a transition. Obviously, back end they've got plenty, but if they go from end to end and give themselves opportunities, that's what's going to, be the difference, I think.
Yeah, here he goes again. Here goes Chicago on the ball. Little show. Yeah, these two love watching these two play together. Exit here, Maya, what are you seeing from where you're sitting?
I actually got a question for Pete. Pete, you talked about Waikato giving up the 7. Do you think that's part of the game plan, or it's just something that's actually just happening?
It might be. I do know the coaches, so with it, the thing is, if you let them attack at the 7, what we worked out over time is with the ball playing prowess of our athletes now, you don't have enough time to then retreat and defend. So it's really not about Waikato as such, it's about the game of touch. So we don't have enough time to react in the smaller spaces. So if we make them 10, then we're going to get a better recovery of up and out as such.
Good work in there. Another good play. We saw another play on the ball for Waikato, so they got quite a lot of strike players that they can call on. But once again, the defence from Triple T stands up to it. They love this 21 ruck lane here, and they do it really, really well. But this is if they can disrupt, as Pete talked about a little bit earlier, their exit, they'll definitely have a better chance at the back end defending. So there we go there. Coming into the 5th and final 32 platform. It goes Boston Kake. Yes, just found them, just trying to get a sneaky one on the side there.
Yardage, the yardage through the field for Tai Tokerau is actually good. They just have to now adjust to their strike. They get better strike, they'll get better outcome. And what I'm meaning by better outcome, it doesn't need to be a try, but then they can set their defensive exit and keep Waikato from doing exactly what they're trying to achieve, which is get to the other side of the field. So you want to finish through the line or the ball to the sideline, preferably your sideline. So they have to then get from one side of the field to the other, both forward and sideways.
Great work, and we've got Puna on the ball, and he just injected himself there. They like this little nice little platform. They're going to go again. Quickly on the link, and they get him again. They got some nice low game there from the Waikato. Number 5. Yeah, Jaden Williams-Wilson. So he gets it here. He's got his dancing shoes on for this one. Gets 11 high, gets it. It's just going to come on the inside. Ball down. Beautiful try there from Waikato. So there you go. That's the 2 plays that they've got touchdowns on. Quickly on the link, Pete.
Yeah, very good. I talked about Waikato giving up the 7, and now Tai Tokerau is doing exactly the same. If you're quickering the link, you've got to pull both middles across. You are open to the big long ball, but it makes it super hard to get it across. So I think early setup on that is going to be early identification on the quickie on the link, and then locking that middle in.
Yeah, there we go. We've got a recount there. We've got Chicago out there with Reese. Just sitting in there. Oh, he goes Buddha. He's sitting at left flank. He's going to get it. He's got a nice low game also with a beautiful skill set. Looks like they're pushing outside now, Pete. Just trying to make it just outside the 7. Yeah, go through left to right over the top. Oh, that's good work from Waikato. Probably would like that pass back, Chicago. They've still got a couple of touches up their sleeve, so they're going to reset. Just trying to pull out this Waikato defence, and they can't afford to give a penalty away on this one. Puna makes the touch. Little follow play. Good. Oh, there they go. Yeah, they gave that penalty away on the 5th and final, and I know he's trying to stay away from that, Maya.
Yeah, totally. It was the link defender, I think. It wasn't the one that made the touch. The link defender that just rolled back early and therefore got an advantage. So he lifted up nice and early, which meant that Te Tai Tokerau had to go left, and they probably wanted to go right. Referee John Justo felt they took an advantage away and therefore penalised him. What
was that call, Pete, that he was signalling? Was it didn't plant the ball properly, or he was...
Yeah, he didn't get his body over the ball through his legs, planted it down the side.
Oh, now they've turned it back over.
At the start, I talked about basic fundamentals and being able to control a game. A lot of it nowadays is exactly that. And unfortunately, after they had a double turnover, they come up with points. So, it's very, very frustrating. If they consistently control their sets, the likelihood is, the percentages of outcomes will work their way.
Here's this Jordan, so inside, so he's live, he can score. Caleb goes out and then steps back inside, and that's just beautiful work off the ball, isn't it, Pete?
Beautiful. And a combination, obviously, that those two run, and they can run a Geordie in, Geordie out, really pretty to watch.
Waikato with the ball, it's just over 2 minutes now. 13's on the ball, yep, just trying to... They don't seem to have... The rhythm hasn't quite kicked in yet, Pete.
Yeah, I think their base platform is a little bit passive, and so they're not creating anything off the ball. So I think if they tidy up their base platform, they're going to get a better outcome.
Yeah, Bless on the ball, number 13, very tidy athlete. And I know a lot of these ones come through Hamilton Boys and those sort of schools, so no doubt they've put in the training over summer. They've got a recount now. This would be good for them if they can get one here and... get a stopper on Te Tai before half-time. That's a penalty there. Oh, that was a nice little platform also, Pete.
Yeah, a lot better, a lot strong down, good timing at the ruck. I think this next set here will be telling, very, very telling. If Tai Tokerau can keep them out, it's going to be a big one.
Sitting here with two of the best coaches in the game in New Zealand, with the new rules around 3 penalties on the line, one goes back behind the dead ball line. As coaches, do you coach anything around tactics to try and get into that situation where you can get 3 penalties?
Oh, he didn't miss that. He bobbled that.
Just about that, Maya. First and foremost, it's about accuracy on what we do. We're not actually working for 3 penalties. If it goes our way, then we're fortunate enough. But I think if they tidy up their basic fundamentals here and get a little more accurate with their platform, then their outcomes are going to be a little bit better. The 3 penalties is new for us, so it's not something that we're super focused on at the moment, but obviously it's a part of the game, so we need to have a look at that.
Oh, that's good work, man. Really, what I like is Waikato's, they've found a couple at one link, and Te Tai Tokerau found another on that side, and they've gone back to it, so that's good to not go away from something that's working. They might be able to get a quick one on the back of this if they can get quick transition. They're obviously going to have to scoop right on the hooter, Pete, but probably lucky to hold Te Tai Tokerau just to form this half, I think.
Yeah, yes. I think as the momentum in the game. I think Tai Tokerau have been better through the field, which has given them better opportunity back end. I mean, this boy here can run, and if
it's amazing, every touchdown's only worth one, but I think the timing of that, I think Te Tai Tokerau have been dominant all half, as Peter's talked about, but Waikato getting that one, so it only means they're one behind going into the second half. Getting it going into the first half, it'll lift their spirits. Body language changed already, you'll see the look in the box. Here's number 7 scoops through and hands it off to number 6 there. I think they've combined for an earlier try earlier on, so they're a good combination, but I think that touchdown's probably worth 2 or 3, to tell you the truth.
I agree. I think looking at the game first half, if Waikato get a little bit more powerful coming out of transition, they've got 2 on a quickie at the link and that one there, they're going to get better outcomes. I think they're a little bit passive coming out of the 10, and with Tai Tokerau, I think if they tidy up their accuracy at the line and get a little bit more patient, it's going to be a very, very interesting. But I go back to the basic fundamentals. The exit transition sets you up for the attack, eh?
Yeah, definitely. And I think I think halftime is probably a blessing for Waikato, where these experienced coaches can come in and just really probably just give them the plan for maybe the first 5-6 sets. This is what we need to do to regroup. Whereas I think Te Tai Tokerau, they've found their rhythm. The boys have played some heads-up touch, so it'll be interesting how Waikato come out of the halftime talk, Pete.
Yeah, so I think, I think Tai Tokerau get the start. So it'll be interesting set piece they chuck out there. Waikato, obviously, they're going to be on the defensive. If they can hold that set after getting a try, that pulls them back into the game. We've got the master, Peter Walters, there, and Shane Edwards, so it'll be interesting the defensive shifts they make in this half. Tai Tokerau, they're actually playing quite open, which is really good. They've got a variety of quickie, and then they can go to a 32. So it'll be interesting what starter they come out with. Exciting stuff.
Just one of the trends I've seen in terms of looking at the stats that I wrote down, 7 tries in that first half, and 5 of those tries come off repeat sets on the scoreline in terms of penalties against the defensive team, or when they were exiting off their try line, they'd turn it over. So I think the team who can really clean up that end, give away minimal penalties, offside, whatever that may be, and also make sure they exit well, will not give that other team 2-3 cracks on their line. It's almost impossible to hold them out for 10 touches.
It's quite a common trend. Pete and I were watching the game this morning over the backfield, and same thing, a team just couldn't exit, the other team got the ball, and the team that kept making a lot of the mistakes were a higher ranked team, but because they just couldn't exit, they gave the pill over to the other opposition, and if you give ball over to a quality side, they'll hurt you.
Yeah, and I keep saying it, the consistency of ball in hand and the position of the field. So, these guys have played together a lot. It'll be interesting what they go to for a start, but I'm really interested in what Waikato is going to throw out defensively. So what an exciting 20 minutes that we have left to go.
And here it is. It's the second half, the under-18 boys final, 2021 Youth Nationals Touch Championships, Bruce Pullman Park, Tamaki Makaurau. Here we have Te Tai Tokerau. Yeah, they're going to run a little 33 or fake back in behind, coming through. Yes. He's going to ask him if he got him. Yes. Oh, man, we need it. So it was a little fake play, wasn't it, Pete?
Double passive. So they set up like they were going to run a passive out to the link, and the door boy drops in behind, gets it, and then it's pretty much a foot race man on. He's there. He's offside. He's not running the line where he's supposed to be, and I think he called him to play through. And good start, great start for them.
It's a sort of play that you come to expect from Wade. He's quite innovative in his tap-off play, so good to see. But here we go, Waikato with the ball back on attack.
And great timing of a play. Like if you're going to pull out a big play, at the start of a half, it's the time to pull out your set piece. So let's see how they defend here.
There's Puna. He's going to get the ball back. He's going to use this, just go through the hands. Straight back, yeah. Well, they've obviously seen something there, haven't they, Pete?
Yes, yeah, early release, early release, hit the link. So Puna's the man at the moment, so if I was that coach on that side, I'd be giving him all the ball. If his hands are hot, then give him the ball.
So he goes, gets the ball, Samo straight back, so gets the ball straight back. Remember, he can score, and it's just a nice skill set. And nice attacking lines on his outside, Pete.
Yes, with the middle tucked in, he closed the gate that much. He isolated the link in the wing, and once they gave it early release, they thought they were setting up for a 33. They faked that one. He gets a defined 2-on-1, and he hits the link. Very good.
Here goes Buddha and Chicago at half, coming through over the top. Yeah, just using this. He's got good feet. He's called the player off. Yeah, and that's just awareness. Onto awareness, that player got the ball. As soon as he heard this player in front of him was offside, he just carried on.
4 of the 6 tries against Waikato have been through offside, referees calling the player offside. So they're obviously just not making it back to the scoreline 2 feet, not 1 feet, 2.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the play-through rule, but obviously within the rules, you play to the rules. What I'm seeing, though, is we need if Waikato are going to come through this, they need a stopper. They're getting one, getting back in it, and then they're leaking one. So they certainly need a stop call.
There we go, Taha on the ball. He's injected himself finally.
Yeah, and they need Taha to step up in this. He's their other go-to. The thing about it, they've hit the link twice. I'd go there again.
Pete, you talked about not being a fan of the play-through rule. What's your thinking behind that?
Oh, I just, as a perfectionist coach, you want it to be very, very defined in terms of what you coach to and what you coach for. I know it is a rule, but I'd still like to be at that defined. It's a perfection thing, So even if we're getting play-through calls from my side, I talk about the accuracy of when we train to set up things. We don't usually train to get a play-through call, but it is part of the game, and I do understand that.
There he goes again. Oh man, Reese Brown, man, he is hot. He's scored the last 2. And the combination with him, Chicago Doyle, and I'll get who plants, beautiful plants. And look at this little ninja play, we used to call this, on the outside, and shows a little bit of swag there. But we're going straight back at it. And they stretch out again, like you said, Pete. They'll score and they'll give one up, and they'll score and they'll give one up.
Yeah, and excitement of it, awesome. I think good attacking touch is good for the game. But again, we've got to ensure if you're scoring them, you've also got to have a real strong emphasis on a stopper or a stopper call, and a strategy of what you're going to do in terms of that.
Yeah, just beautiful platform. They've done this well all game. 1, 2, 3 up the sideline in that 21 lane, and then they come on again. Here's touch 4. They just need to tighten this up. They're going to get a penalty there, and just lacked a little. He tried to get physical when it probably wasn't the right time, Pete.
Yeah. I've actually been impressed with them getting out of their zone, their exit. Very, very basic, but they execute it very, very well. Good intensity. They get to a hip, so good on them.
Hickey, you've hit the nail on the head from the referee's perspective in terms of tried to get physical when it wasn't the right opportunity. As a ref, a team's just transitioned, they've got their fresh players on, they're coming back to the centre of the field. And when a defending player goes up and really smashes them, they're trying to stop that momentum, and we're looking for it more on that touch probably than others. So you're really accurate with regards to, in that moment, what's a referee looking at, and they are looking at that touch, that contest.
And that's awesome insight there from Maya. Bless, that was good defence. They finally stepped up, got off the line and stopped some really quality attack. Here's this follow again. That's that Jordan inside. They ran it in the first half. They're running it again because it's a high strike rate, Pete.
Yes, and I think the change of point of attack then puts pressure on the defence. So really, really good tactically. I love the change of point of attack, and they can do it both sides with the arsenal they've got in terms of attack players. Once your side is moving laterally, obviously then it gets defined. You're going to get defined space somewhere.
Nice. Man, that's a good little win for Waikato. It was an opportunity. It was that, like you said earlier, Maya, back-to-back sets. And unfortunately, there's just, I don't know what way that penalty was meant to go.
I think that was for a jersey pull. I seen it in the peripheral there, the little jersey pull. I think it was from number 12 in the Waikato team, just holding the Te Tai Tokerau defender there.
And that's really interesting. In the game we talk about disciplines, and when you're coming out of your zone on an exit, you've got to be so disciplined. You can't get frustrated and just complete the basics. And a jersey pull isn't one of them.
That's right, especially when, look at that. Offside. Yeah, especially when you're chasing the game, Pete. You should have discipline anyway, but when you're chasing the game and when you don't have momentum, unfortunately that's come back to bite them. But, Waikato, man, they're a quality side. They're coached by quality coaches. Here we go, Chicago Duel comes around a nice little, it's a real, quite a tight one. He plays that body, as you always talk about, Peter, just gets on the outside of the shoulder.
I think that the touch and retreat line, at the ruck, they really need to push out to the 8. He's not going to get enough time on that retreat line there. They're going to come lateral with the class of divers that they've got in this team. They need to have a change up there. So I'd push out, try and get squarer earlier, and ensure that, that we're not on a straight collapse, because what they'll do, the next play in terms of a sequence, is they'll early release that, and then they'll hit the wing.
They had the ball there, didn't they, Maya?
Yeah, it's the second penalty for 7 on the field. I just seen the referee put his hands up in the air, 7 on the field. We seen one earlier, I think it was in the 18 mixed game. It's not a common call, but obviously the referees have been coached to pay that part of the game a little bit more attention than normal, and they're picking it up.
Oh, he's just ripped platform again. Really good patience, some players might have let that ball go, but he saw, it wasn't the right time.
That was better defence there. They got a link onto that, which when they throw that 32, so it is a defensive ploy, then they're throwing it to man on, and you're not moving it as lateral, so you get square shoulders at your defensive line. Way better.
Here goes Puna, just passing the ball off. Just get their rhythm right here, Waikato. That's good work, touch 3, on come the fresh legs, and probably definitely need like Taha to take control of the set.
There's still plenty of time in this game, plenty of time to actually make a difference. So, just getting through your sets, trying to win every minute by minute. So that would be the call. We're 8-5, we've got over 6 minutes to go, so very exciting.
Yeah, plenty of time, definitely, Pete. So here we go, and we've got some strike attack also on the ball. Oh, yeah, so that's the second penalty.
Yep, one more, and whoever the offending player is in that third penalty will have to go have a watch from behind the dead ball line until his team regains possession. We
do training scenarios if we do have to go down to a 5. So it'll be interesting what their defensive systems are if they do have one put on the side of the field due to 3 penalties.
That's better attack, That's better attack. Oh. Yeah, I like that middle pushed out really strong, and he held him, then checked off to that link, and they went and got their link. That's where they've got most success, this Waikato team, on those link attack lines.
Changing point of attack, or really, really good. They go to Taha there, he plays a fake in, bounces out, very good pass and release. The skills that we're teaching in the link zone now is an early catch and release, because we know that they're coming. If it's an overload 2v1, usually they will be coming to shut that down.
And beautiful pass to there by Edwards. So here we go. This is where they need this stopper. Goes through the hands, and then look at that. Yeah.
Speaking of class, that was in very, very small spaces. That was very, very classy release. So when I'm talking about the skills that we're looking at now, 3v2, release, beautiful. Kake, Doyle, absolutely defined. Define that space, beautiful release, class.
And just love watching these young fellas play this game. They just are coming up with new stuff or executing old stuff, at a high level. So 9-6, 5 minutes to go. 18 boys final. Bless is on the ball, comes through. Yeah, just don't quite see that hunger off the ball, Pete.
Yeah, and there's just the accuracy of the lines. That was the ball itself in terms of pass was good, but execution very difficult. Running on an outside, releasing to a link that way. So I think if they simplify the platform, maybe the outcome will be a little bit better. Very, very impressed with Tai Tokerau's completion rate getting out of the zone. Very, very good.
Yeah, just want to shout out to young Neon Nathan, 15 on the right wing. He's had an outstanding tournament. He's played that position for many, many years. These boys have come through the young counties grades, the 12s, 14s, right through. So there's a lot of chemistry in this group. But here we go, Bless. If they could just get some injection and energy, I think, Waikato, just that nice injection that we see in these teams, punters on the field, and really like to take him, see him really take it by the scruff of the neck, Pete.
Yeah, 4 minutes to go. So what we're looking at now, in reality is probably 5 sets each and trying to win. So every set you're trying to win. And we might have a win here.
There he goes, Puna. We asked him, and he stepped up, and just like that.
And they needed it. So with 5 sets each to go, as a coach, you're just trying to win each set now. this is big for Waikato here. He goes short side there. They mirror hard, but he just gets off him with a release. Very good.
Sort of a bit of a tip for tat there, number 5, Waikato. Early push off, then the Te Tai Tokerau winger, or Link, held him, and then there was another push off in there. So 2 wrongs don't make a right, but they got away with it. Waikato get the touchdown, 7-9.
And that's quite normal now, Mai, you know, honestly, see that stuff all the time. You
Yep.
know, it's nothing over vigorous. So I think it was good officiating.
Big set here. You know, Waikato need to hold this one out. Very big set. Dropping on the middle.
There's Chicago. Just so composed, these boys. Reset half, so this will be a massive win for Waikato, because I have no doubt that they're in the sub box. That's a forward pass. They're in the sub box right now. These coaches, probably with Taha, telling we're going to run this play.
Yes, and with 2 minutes to go, they need a result off the back end. If the result's a double set, that's good, but, you know, time's starting to work against them now. So let's see what they come up with. They need to put on a strike, and they need a result from that strike. It's a clutch play, and it's time to pull it out. So
penalty. There you go. Penalty. Taha's on the field. They've sent out the play that they're looking to run, but they don't really want to waste any touches here, Pete, in terms of time.
Yeah.
So Waikato he's sitting here. He's coming on.
Edwards has had a good game. He's been a bit of glue for them in terms of setting.
Oh, he dropped it. Unfortunate. They went for the as they say, Hail Mary. But once again, they don't have a lot of time, 2 minutes.
I think platform, if they pull them back to the 10, get a stronger platform in terms of isolating that 32 ruck, you know, the outcome again better.
Little Jordan play. Great touch there.
That's a big touch there. Big touch. Very good by Kake.
Yeah, and maybe just a fake play off, you know, Taha. Send them around and on a fake, because they're going to stick to him like glue. He's going to have a pick.
Oh, see, Tai Tokerau, even though they're getting penalised, they're actually using the time. So, you know, I don't think the penalty's actually working for them here. It's actually burning time. So they need to pull them out of the zone, go to the 10, and get some strike on it.
Taha on the ball, 32 platform. Looking at that link, yeah. They just sort of held their space, didn't they?
Yes,
Pete?
yeah. There was no defined collapse there, so really good from Tai Tokerau there.
Here goes Taha. He's trying to bring his team back. Yeah, was he on? Yes.
Great touch by the middle. Great touch.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Tama Anderson.
Yeah, he made the first one and doubled up on the Geordie step back.
He's just been a quiet achiever in this one too. Tama working really, really well. Yeah, and times they played the clock well. Taha on the board just trying to run a rip play, and there you go. That one could seal the title.
Yeah, I don't think the range of attack, you know, they're attacking static on the 7. You know, I think if they pulled them back, they just need a complete here, which they've done very, very well.
Boston Kaki coming off.
That's a great. He got bashed there, and he got good, strong ruck. You know, didn't get caught up in anything. Very, very disciplined.
20 seconds left in this one. This is the 18 boys final, man. And I'll tell you what, Te Tai Tokerau under 18 boys. They've been a class act today, and they're probably going to seal this one. Just get some icing on it. Come through, check off.
And what a
in the
way
middle.
to finish.
And there it is. All the class comes to the top, and it's our man, Reese Brown.
And it's cream.
Yeah, that's cream, man. That's cream. Straight at it. There it is. There's the hooter. And there is your under 18 New Zealand Youth Nationals champions.
We talked about clutch plays, and, you know, what a way to finish. Congratulations to Tai Tokerau. It's been a pleasure. This is the first time I've ever done this. I was very, very nervous, but I've chosen anyone better to do it with Hikapene and my bestest ref in the world, Maya Williams.
Outstanding, and there you have it. You know, I caught up with Wade and Jezza before. I've seen them throughout the tournament. They've come so close in winning these titles, and now, man, they've finally got it. So really happy for that crew, and just on behalf of us, stoked to have Peter McIntyre here. Been trying to get him on the commentary for years. So you got some real good education at the highest level, technically at this. What a way to finish, eh?
Yeah, well, what a way to finish. 3 great finals to be part of the commentary team. And the Te Tai Tokerau, they seem to just put their own polish on the moves that they did. We've seen the other teams, Waikato, they were fantastic in the game before, but Te Tai Tokerau, they just looked amazing. What an incredible victory.
Man, I want to really credit them, just their discipline, and I mean to stick to their game plan. You know, they had a game plan. You never see them. They weren't erratic in any way, were they? You know, they really stuck to their process. They were really humble, and they fought right to the end. Not once did you see them get, a little bit relaxed in their systems. They really pushed all the way, didn't they?
Yeah, totally. Of all the three finals, Hika, which one would you say was the one that really impressed you?
Oh man, I can't pick it. I think, you know what? I haven't done an 18 girls final, and man, I thought it was just a beautiful game. You know, just awesome to watch the real clean lines. But I think every final definitely had its uniqueness about it. I think this is a great way to finish off these. Like I say, these boys have been going at it for many years. When the IPS used to go on. You know, watch the county's Waikato final over the last few years, and now these boys that have been pushing each other, and just credit to these young fellas. I really like it's great to see when we see humility, Mai, you know, in these games. We all remember those players that don't show that, but I think it's an awesome image to put out there.
Yeah, totally. I think the brilliance of the Te Tai Tokerau attack is sort of something that overshadowed how amazing and incredible they were.
And here we go to George Yonke, and he's with Captain Buddha.
One word, ladies and gentlemen, and that is cream. The cream has risen to the top for this grand finale. Boys under 18s championship, and today it's Te Tai Tokerau that'll be celebrating in the far north. And I have my little book here for autographs. I'll be getting Buddha Doyle's. I've watched this guy since he was under 9s, and I was just amazed how good they were. And now I see him 9 years later with the under 18s, and they get the tile. It's a very good achievement for these boys, and it was a good effort out there. I saw the last play there with Reese Brown going downtown, signing it, and that just showed how good this team was, and it was spread right across the board. Buddha Doyle, how are you feeling, mate?
Triple D, baby!
There it is, guys. There's the mana, there's the ihi. Buddha, tell me how you're feeling.
Feels amazing, eh? Haven't won in the past 2 years, so quite emotional. We've been together since under 9s mixed, and this year we promised that it'll be our last year, and we did it. So I'm real proud of our boys, eh?
Nice. I think I'm your biggest fan, you and your cousin Chico there. I follow you all the time, and I see some of the posts there and it's saying, hey, this year we're going to have fun. I know you got all the athleticism in the world and stars there, so seeing you guys have fun and pulling out the cream today, that was phenomenal. What was the difference this year?
I feel like our boys wanted it. You know, we've been waiting for this for about 3 years now after losing to them consistently. But yeah, I think our just team culture, how we bond and everything's just amazing. You know, I'm still real proud, eh?
Okay, so there was a difference. He's told me it's been 3 years in the making for this game here. What was the difference this year compared to last year?
Yeah, team culture.
Team culture. Yeah, you said it before and you said it again, team culture, boys having good fun, having all the tools there, putting it out today. I am not going to hold you up too much, mate. I know you're famous in the rugby scene, powerlifting, all that type of stuff. It's good to have you here today. Hopefully you stick in the touch scene with most of your boys. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Still got Opens, Nationals to go, but yeah.
Nice. There you heard it, folks. This young man's around for as long as he can be, even though all these other sports are hunting him down to try and take him away. But he knows where his passion is. He knows where his whānau is as we support him today. You're going to sign us out, mate. Touch.
What a game.
Boom. There it is. Champion 2021, baby.